So let me show you where I'm going this weekend. So here's a map of Jasper National Park, and this is the Icefields Parkway. And where I'm going this weekend is I'm going to go to Brazeau Lake. And the Brazeau Lake circuit is very popular. A lot of people will start here at Nigel Pass and hike in and go through Jonas Pass and then loop back up through Poboktan Pass, do a stay at the lake, and then come back down. So, but because this is so popular and there's limited campsites, I had limited opportunities and options for reserving my campsite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive up to here, leave my car at the Nigel Pass trailhead, then I'm going to hitchhike along the Icefield Parkway, and I'm going to go past the Columbia Icefields, and then I'm going to start my journey over here at the Sunwapta warden cabin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hike in on day one, and then I'm going to stay somewhere here at the Waterfalls Campground, it's called. Then after that, I'm going to take, and because it's not highlighted in pink, this is actually a very small section of trails that I've never done. So then I'm going to stay at the campsite called John. And then the next day I'm going to have a very easy jaunt because I'm going to go to Brazeau Lake, and I'm going to try to get there early in the afternoon to give me the time to explore the lake. And then on the way back down, I'm going to stay here at the 4 Points Campground and then hike out. What I have here is actually I have my Parks Canada pass. So I went and did this on the internet, so I need to take this with me. And what it actually shows is that I have reservation on September 1st at the Waterfall Campground, on the 2nd at John, Brazeau Lake, and 4 Points. So my reservations are there. It's 1 tent, 1 adult. So so I have that, and the other thing I like to do is I like to and I've talked about this wonderful book, the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. Now this copy of mine is well used, and actually the author a year ago sent me a brand new copy, but I'm still very familiar with the old one, and I still use it all the time. So what I did there is I reference these various trails. So there's the author has a reference to Brazeau Lake, and then he has a reference to Poboktan and things like that. And the author, over the years, he hiked all these trails, and he pushed along a distance wheel. So he marked some amazing distances. So what I do is, by referencing this, I create my own little plan of the trail. So I know the distances that I will travel each day and some of the major waypoints that I will encounter. So I know that on the first day I'll do 12 kilometers. On the second day I'll do 16.6, 8.9, 18.5, and 13.8 to finish. So total, I'm doing 69.8 in 5 days, 4 nights, which is not a very long hike for me, but it's an end of season hike. So I'm in good shape. I don't think I'll have any problem. Usually in September, the weather's fantastic. There's no mosquitoes. So I'm looking forward to documenting a couple of things that I've never seen. I've never seen Poboktan Pass, and I've never actually been to Brazeau Lake. So so that's it, a little more on how I plan it. So as I said earlier, I'm getting ready to go on a 4 nights, 5-day trip. It's about 70 kilometers. I'm heading to Brazeau Lake. So I've never been to Brazeau Lake. I've done the south boundary, but anyways, I'm going to Brazeau Lake. So as you know, I like to prepare my food. So I'm just showing you, yesterday I went and did a little bit of grocery, got oatmeal, some granola bars, and then I have some leftover supplies. So I like to package everything individually, makes it easy to ration, and it's part of the fun. I like to just get organized while, planning the trip is as much fun as doing the trip. So, so I buy these plastic Ziploc bags, and I've shown it in other videos, but some people haven't seen the other videos, so I'll show you real quick. So I need 4 breakfasts, 4 lunches, and 4 dinners, and then I'll throw in a couple of extra supplies. So for me, a typical breakfast is 2 oatmeals. So what I do for my breakfast, so I throw in my 2 oatmeals in my Ziploc bag. I throw in a hot chocolate in there, probably a couple of coffees, so these instant coffees. Oh, and by the way, on this trip, it's a very popular trail, so the national park in this case, does not allow fire, so I'm not allowed to burn wood, so I have to bring my stoves. So everything I'm doing is quick preparation because I don't have the luxury of having a fire going all the time. So, and then I'll throw in a juice, whatever drink, and either I drink that drink that morning, or I carry it with me and use it for during the day. So there you go. So this is one breakfast, and then I repeat that 4 times. Oh, actually, I forgot something in this breakfast. Sorry. And then in each breakfast for me is a granola bar. So when I open this ration on the trail, I can choose to eat the 2 oatmeals that are in there and the granola bar and the drink and the hot chocolate and everything. And if I don't, then I will save some lunches. And I've said it many times, maybe it's just me, but so I'm hiking alone. So when I'm hiking alone, I don't try and bring the comforts of home necessarily to the trail. So for me, the purpose of this hike is to go see something I've never seen. So I'm going to go through some beautiful scenery. I'm going to go through passes I've never been. I'm trying to get to a lake. And eating, it's a little bit barbaric, but I eat for sustenance. So it's not, you know, I enjoy eating, but it's not the highlight of my day. So for lunches, people have heard me talk about Ichiban soup. So it's actually Sapporo Ichiban. It's a brand. So it's just these ramen style noodles. I mean, this weighs 100 grams. If I look at the instructions on the back, there's 480 calories in here. So for my lunch, typically it's just an Ichiban, and in some cases I'll treat myself. I'll actually have, I'll even throw in while I'm on the side of the trail, I'll bring some smoked oysters. So I'll have a snack on the side of the trail of my Ichiban soup, some smoked oysters. I'll throw in a granola bar and a drink crystal. So again, and I'll do this 4 times. So that's a lunch. Now I'll make a different one. So this lunch will be Ichiban, and I could bring some crab dinner and things like that, but I'm going to bring, for this trip, I'm just bringing Ichibans. And then in this one, I'm going to throw in a can of light tuna, and I will bring out the can. I won't, you know, and then another granola bar and another drink. So same, very simple concept. And so while I'm on the trail, I don't want to spend a lot of time cooking, especially the lunches. So the lunches are straightforward, and I'm also going to bring cheese sticks, and I bring peanuts. So, and I've said it many times in other videos, I tend to lose my appetite while I'm out there. So I'm drinking water, and I'm having a quick snack, and I'm happy. For the dinners, I'm going to bring these dehydrated meals, and these ones, this brand of meal is the meal where you actually just boil water, and then you either pour the water in here and let it reconstitute over 15 minutes or 10 minutes, or you can even do it in a pot. But these ones don't require cooking. Some of these instant meals actually require cooking. They're dehydrated, but they require cooking, so it's a subtle difference. So, and one is supposed to feed you 2 people. It's 2 courses, but they're so lightweight, and I'll eat a whole meal easily for dinner. So, and because they weigh so little, I'm going to bring an extra one, so it's my emergency ration. So same idea. So my dinners for me is always instead of an Ichiban soup, which has a lot of noodles, I'll just have a cup of soup. So while I'm sitting I get into camp and I'm relaxing, I'll have a cup of soup. And then I'll have my meal, which doesn't fit in this pouch. And then at the end of the day, I treat myself to a chocolate bar. So, and my favorite candy bar, the Canadian candy bar that I like, is called Eat More. It's sort of a peanut and toffee, and it can stay warm and not get all gooey. And I bring a hot chocolate. And then at the end of the night, I like having a coffee. So a small pouch. It's and I'll have peanuts and leftover cheese. So this basically is a dinner for me. So there you have it. I got 4 breakfasts, 4 lunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 dinners. And I actually managed to squeeze in the dehydrated meals in there. So like I said in other videos, it's the concept, it's the meal ready to eat concept that the military uses. And then so I got an extra ration, and I have my Planters peanuts that I'm going to bring, and I'm also going to bring some cheese, and that's it. That's my meal preparation for this 4-day trip. All right, so the question I always get asked is, what does my pack weigh? Now, first of all, I wanted to say, so it is a large pack. I admit it's a 90-liter pack, and I've said it before, I'm hiking alone in the mountains, and already this morning it's chilly, right? So I need to be prepared, and I have nobody to share the community gear with. So I'm bringing the tent for myself, the stove, the fuel, tools, first aid kits. I can't share anything, so I have to be completely self-sufficient, and it could be cold out there. So people ask me what the pack weighs, and me personally, even though I have different size packs, over the years I always use my big pack. So when I'm going even on a short trip, I use my big pack, and I bring a ton of luxuries, and I get used to carrying the weight. And then when I go on longer trips like this one, it doesn't seem so heavy. So what does the pack weigh? Well, let's find out. Big Bad Marty this morning weighs 177.5, so 177 pounds. Now, this is a fully loaded pack for this trip. The food is in there, the cameras, I even have my first liter of water, so 177.5, and with the pack I weigh 219.8. So let's do that again. 177. $219.8. So 219. So that's 42 pounds. So this pack weighs 42 pounds. So that's not bad. I can easily, and it'll get lighter because I got about 2 pounds per day of food. So I will lose 2 pounds every day. So by the time I'm done this trip, it should weigh about 32 pounds or something like that. Well, I've been driving for almost 2.5 hours, and I've just passed Saskatchewan Crossing. So the place where I'm going to drop off the car is about 40 kilometers ahead, and I can tell that the area is very cloudy, or not cloudy, smoky. The forest fires in BC are still having an impact here, so it's going to affect my views and everything. But beyond that, I'm getting a little nervous. It's been over a year since I did a long solo hike, so I'm just starting to get mentally psyched for this, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's a pleasure to go to an area that I've never been before and see things I've never seen. So and a little quiet time for me goes a long way. So that's it. Just the drive out here is spectacular, you know. I never get tired of these mountains, and well, I don't know what to say. The drive's spectacular, and so that's it. I just wanted to show a little bit. So it's pretty spectacular area just driving around here. But like I've said to people, if it's all you can do is come drive here and see the mountains, well, so be it. Good for you. But if you're capable, if you're fit, if you have the physical ability and a little bit of adventure, I always say get off the beaten path and go walk. Because these mountains are much more spectacular when you're on top of them and looking down instead of down looking up. It is now 12:18. Took 3 and a bit hours to get here, and my car is parked behind me at the Nigel Pass trailhead. And this is a busy highway because just up ahead is the Columbia ice field. So now I'm just trying to hitchhike, and hopefully I get a ride to where I want to start. I got picked up by tourists. It's never my fellow Albertans who pick me up. So these ladies are from New Zealand. They've been here for a couple of days, so they gave me a ride to Poboktan, and now I gave them a few pointers. Hopefully I do recommend definitely go see Mount Robson and Geraldine Lakes or Horseshoe Lake. Any of those, they're all fantastic. So the one on the sign says Avalanche. I call it Waterfall. So it's 11 kilometers away. And the trailhead is at the old warden station. So it's on this side of the... I had the people drop me off on the other side, but there's no bridge across the creek anymore. So I had to cross on the highway and then start the trail. So this trail is now on the north side of Poboktan. So the first couple of 100 yards, everything's feeling good. Typical forest trail that'll eventually pop out into the alpine. I've been gone for an hour and everything feels good. Not seeing a lot of signs on the trail, like no evidence of bears or anything like that. And now I'm just breaking out of the trees and I got this lovely spot. So this is as good a spot as any for a quick break. Check the gear, maybe grab a quick bite, drink some water, and ponder life. All right, so we're at a major junction, and to my left is Nigel Pass, and I'm heading towards Poboktan Pass. So Nigel Pass this way is an abandoned trail that I will do someday. It heads into Brazeau Lake, and actually you could connect this trail and connect it to the skyline. That's what I want to do one day. I want to come down the skyline, or the south boundary, and come across Poboktan and then to here, and then connect Brazeau and then skyline and do a big 200-kilometer loop. But I think I need friends to do that one. Oh my God, that's clean. Oh yeah. This is perfect bear country, just below the alpine. Lots of berries everywhere. See that? Look at that. He's walking down, just gorge full of berries, taking a shit on the trail. Oh wow, look at this spot. He opens up. Well, this must be the Waterfall Campground, because I see waterfalls. There's a yellow marker on the tree. Somewhere over there. Home sweet home. Let's see what we got. Holy, that's a big picnic table. Flying Trail Crew from 1994. So that's a 20-plus-year-old table. Here's all the tent pads. Somebody left some rope. This one looks good. Don't like being too close to the waterfall because you don't hear all the noise of other things that might be coming in the night. So, I'm sure there's a few more somewhere. There we go. I leave a perfectly good piece of rope. Actually, this is like non-stretch. This is we're gonna salvage that. Who knows what we can use that for. I want to make a comment on this Garmin watch. It's really awesome. Like when I left the parking lot, it was showing 12.17 kilometers. Right now it's showing 14.98. So according to this, I walked 12.7 kilometers, give or take, plus I stopped at the other campsite and moseyed around. And so, and the guidebook said it was 12 kilometers to get here. So fundamentally, the watch is bang on. The watch has a GPS function, and so if I turn on the GPS, it's tracking my distance accurately, but it also tracks the steps with an internal gyroscope or something. And I calibrated the steps a long time ago. I mean, I've had this watch for a year and I use it for running all the time, so it's fairly accurate. And it's, you know, I always estimate about 15 minutes per kilometer, so I pace myself. I keep track of my moving minutes to have an idea of the distance I'm traveling, but this is a nice backup. And it's kind of nice to know how far you've gone or how far you have to go. It helps you pace your day, and sometimes it's morally helpful to know you're right around the corner from your campsite. So I got a gorgeous campsite tonight, all to myself. Well, camp is set up. It's always the first thing I do. And then inside my tent, now I get all the space in the world because I'm alone. So I got my sleeping bag. Now tonight, this is just a 4°C sleeping bag, so it's not very warm, but I have a very thick neon air thermarest. So, and then I brought sort of pants, PJs, and then I got a fleece shirt, so I'll be fine. And then what I do is I use the bag from the sleeping bag and I stuff some clothes, or actually I have this clothes bag that I can use as a pillow. And then a toque at night makes a huge difference. And I also have very lightweight fleece gloves. So that's my tent. Let's go get some water. the water's pretty silty. So I got my little bag, I'll fill up some water. I mean, it's okay for cooking, it's not the best for drinking because like I've said, the silt is basically calcium carbonate. It's kind of like salt, so it could upset your stomach. It's not the bugs I'm worried about, it's just too much salt. So I'll be fine for using it for cooking, but I'll filter some for drinking. I just turned around and I noticed there's people coming up. Getting out here and seeing really beautiful stuff like this. This is actually a fantastic place. It's only 12 kilometers. This might be one of my new favorites. You can hike here quickly, stay overnight. You're allowed fires when there's no fire bans, and then you got this gorgeous view. Oh yeah. Got my little stove going. Just a cup of water. First ration today is going to be, it's the first one I pulled out of the bag, so it's some sort of beef thing, and then I got my cup of soup, and so that's the first thing I'm going to do is have a cup of soup. Good. Stroganoff with beef and noodles. And I think I'm only going to do half today, which is difficult. How do you measure half? Oh, this will measure out easily. Don't want to eat the... So you can cook it by pouring the water right in the bag, or I'm just going to boil the water and put it in there. I prefer to eat it out of a pot, otherwise the bag stays all dirty, and I don't need a wet bag. I changed my mind. I'm eating the whole thing. Spicy. Cover. And let stand for 20 minutes. So 6:44. Let's say 7:05. Time to read my book. Robertson Davies, World of Wonders. Three bunches of food packs up there. This one here. There's my food.
And then you want to hang these up again. You don't want to just leave it dangling like that, because there have been cases of animals like deer or elk or moose that get tangled in these things. So they ask that we please hang them back up. We're not allowed fires because this is a nice sitting area. I bet you there's been more than one nice fire enjoyed while looking at that waterfall. Coffee, and a hot chocolate, half a hot chocolate, and one coffee in my mug, and then water is more or less boiling, so and by the time I'm done drinking my hot chocolate, coffee, mocha, the water will stay warm, and I'll pour myself an oatmeal in this cup. So. Right now I'm going to go sit by the waterfall and enjoy my coffee while looking at that waterfall. Well, start of day 2, 8:55. So I just love being able to start before 9. I don't have a long day ahead of me, so I'll just casually hike and enjoy the scenery. What it looks like this morning. Beauty of a meadow like this is you might see an animal early in the morning. I don't think this was here last time I came through here. Looks fairly modern. Metal roof. Concrete pad. Very similar to the warden cabins that you find on the north boundary and throughout the parks, the south boundary. But look at the view when they wake up in the morning, what it looks like for these guys. Huh? Nice. Well, that's huge bear poop. They say bears always poop on the trail. I don't know if that's true or not. Big grouse on the trail. Watch when he flops, he'll take off and scare the shit out of me. They're so dumb. If I had a slingshot right now, I could hit him in the head and he'd be good eating. But I won't. He's going to take off real soon here, and it'll be a big flight and a big scary thing. Look at him playing dumb. What the heck? Okay, what's the matter with you, buddy? Are you injured? I don't know what's wrong with him. Wow. I've never been this close to a grouse. Where's your chicks, or what's the matter, buddy? That's the second one right there. You see him? Let me point right there. And he flew up. Scared the living bejesus out of me. Come on, buddy. Fly. Show us how it's done. Ready? You're not gonna fly, eh? Huh. Okay. See what I mean? Be pretty easy. If you're starving, get yourself a chicken. Or a ptarmigan or a grouse. I'm not sure which one that is. I think it's a ptarmigan because it's got hair on its legs. I've been making really good progress this morning. It's 10:12 and I figure I've gone about 6 kilometers, so I'm just going to grab some water here and take a quick break. This water looks good. This is the kind of area, if it was raining right now or wet, walking through these willows, you get soaking wet. Look at the views around me. Wow. Huh. A horse camp. Let's check it out. Horse camps are always a good alternative because they can pack in more gear, and some of these guys bring big saws and leave firewood. Look at all the wood over there, and big picnic table here again, big giant pile of wood there. You know, they can, and they also usually leave the campsites a little dirtier. One thing I've found over the years, these guys tend to leave rope and grills and fire grills and pots and a lot of crap behind. This camp looks pretty clean. Nothing here. I always leave horseshoes. No way I'm packing one of those out. Not a bad view from this campsite. I just passed the loop. I'm supposed to go to Poboktan Pass, but there's a junction here, and 200 meters off the junction is a campground called Jonas Cutoff. So I'm just gonna go and see if there's anyone at the campground and just rest a little bit. My plan is to have lunch at the pass because it should be fairly spectacular. Look at that. All left hanging. I'll fix that in a minute.
Doesn't look like anybody's here. How's that for gorgeous, eh? Nice place to camp. Jesus Christ. Make sure I have water for when I go through the pass, because a pass by definition is where waters split, go one way or the other. So creeks get pretty thin usually at passes, and I want to have lunch there, so I need water for my suit. That's all.